And Murphy joined me on the desk. Oh, that Justin Bieber. Just
Impressive quotes there.
16th.
Oh, and there's going to be some people, you know, in Dewberry, there's a CPCA races hosted by Frog Lake First Nation, so it'll be interesting to see what they think. And there are just 4 weeks left of racing in the CPCA season. As the tour nears the end of the year, there is a large group of drivers desperate to earn the points needed to qualify for Calgary next year and the Prairie Racing Series Championship next weekend in Saskatoon.
After starting the season with a show title, Chance Bensmiller finds himself on the outside looking in. At 12th spot, he's just half a point from 10th though. That position is split between Jim Knight, who has 4 top 10 finishes this year, and Kelly Morin, who has 2 top 10 runs. Both have 342 points. Wayne Knight finds himself in the final position for the Saskatoon show with 349 points. He was 3rd before missing Meadow Lake. Ross Knight's wagon, driven by Neil Walgenbaugh, sits in 8th, 9 points ahead of Wayne. Ray Mitswing has finished in the top 10 every week this year, but since he missed the first show, he is in 7th with 361 points. 12.5 points ahead of him is his son Devin. Devin has 4 top 3 finishes and has the most day monies with 6. Jamie Labicane is just 1 point out of the top 4 with 379.5 points. He has already qualified for Calgary. Just ahead of him is his father Brian, who has not won a show but has 5 top 10 finishes. Lane Bremner has quietly earned 387.5 points. He has just 2 seconds in penalties and finished in the top 4 the last 3 shows. BJ Carey is just 4.5 points out of the top spot. He has the second most day monies this year with 3. And leading the pack with 407.5 points is Vern Nolan. He is the only man with back-to-back show wins this year and has 3 titles in total.
The CPCA Outrider standings are a little different than most would have expected at the beginning of the year. Rory Jarvis, the defending Canadian champion, is well back in 5th spot. That's because he has a knee injury that has limited his rides this year. Darren Mitswing has raced well all year to sit in 4th. His brother Dale in 3rd spot, but he too is out for the year and he will not challenge for top spot. Battling it out for that number 1 position all year long have been Casey Knight and Mick Nolan. Mick holds a nearly 200-point edge on the young Knight, but there are still plenty of races to determine the season champ. The best young stars in Saskatchewan are competing at the Provincial Summer Games in Meadow Lake. The top softball players in our region got off to a great start at these games. Team Rivers West knocked in 21 runs in their first 2 games to start the round robin undefeated. But then their bats fell silent. They were shut out by Prairie Central in their next game and dropped their playoff game in a tightly fought defensive contest. Despite giving up just 3 hits for 3 runs, Rivers West was only able to muster 1 hit and 1 run themselves to drop out in the quarterfinals. Rivers West had an impressive individual result in equestrian on day 5 when Kirsten Reed of Lloydminster won bronze in the individual dressage quad event. They were not able to repeat that success in the team event as they just missed the podium, finishing a point out in 4th. And the same team had 2 runners in the 400-meter final in track. Blake Pierce of Pierceland, oddly enough, finished in 8th place, just over 4 seconds off the podium. He also finished in 13th in the 200-meter this week. And Bigger Saskatchewan's Nick Karczynski finished in an impressive 5th spot, bettering his 10th place result in the 200 meters earlier. And on the women's side, Meadow Lake's own Alyssa Alger crossed the line in a little over 1 minute 6 seconds to grab 7th overall. Alger finished in the top 12 of the 3,000-meter run earlier this week. Pretty diverse runner and pretty impressive results. Hafford's Braden Kowalchuk was trying to become a triple medalist at these games. He already won silver in both the hammer throw and shot put, but just missed a medal in the men's discus, finishing 1.5 meters behind Jared Ablas. Mackenzie Clarkson of Tessier finished in the top 10, throwing nearly 30 meters. And the best result for our region's athletes came in the men's triple jump. Scott Seidel of Medstead absolutely crushed the competition, finishing nearly a full meter ahead of the next closest jumper. Nearly joining him on the podium were 2 of his teammates. Aaron Vargasati missed out on the bronze by just 0.7 of a centimeter. Wilkie's Mark Karstens finished 25 centimeters behind him in 5th spot. Karstens has been so impressive all week long, recording 3 top 5 results and finishing in the top 10 in all of his 5 events this week. That's your first look at Newcap sports. Stay tuned for more news and weather after the break. The Lloydminster Twins are in the busy stretch of the season. A few days after solidifying their spot in their 9th straight NSRBL finals against Wilkie, the Twins went on the road for the provincial senior AA championships in Yorkton. The Twins dominated the NSRBL all season long, just as they always do, but they were stopped by the Marysburg Royals. The Twins jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the first inning and extended the margin to 3-0 after 4. But the Royals scored 6 in the 5th inning, handing the Twins a painful 6-3 loss. The Twins were slated to play the Holdfast Trappers today, hoping to bounce back from just their 3rd loss of the year. We'll let you know the score as soon as we get the result.